is going to be the toughest fight of his career.
Sharp, relax.
The most embarrassing fight of his career.
Chair across your face.
Yeah, I think he's about to cry.
I'm definitely up for fighting. There's a lot of names in the division, for sure. But at the same time, look at what this creates as well. I'm a fighter and I understand that economics of business as well. And this does good business.
Are you really going to do this? Absolutely. Are we going to do this? For a record payday? To go in and spark Jake Paul before we start the serious stuff in 2026? Don't tell me what we should and what we shouldn't be doing.
Anthony Joshua has sent a scary warning to Jake Paul, and he's not just talking tough. Jake Paul might think this fight will make him a lot of money, but Joshua's team is showing how risky and unfair this matchup could be.
Eddie Hearn, Joshua's promoter, bluntly told Paul to understand the danger.
Actors say that one punch from Anthony Joshua could be very dangerous. And former pro Moses Adama didn't hold back either. He warned Jake Paul that fighting Joshua could lead to serious injuries.
Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua should not get in the way of Fury and Joshua. Really, in my view, it's an absolute joke. It shouldn't be sanctioned. I really don't believe it should be sanctioned. I have a sneaking suspicion that it would be a very big fight. But the biggest thing is us rubbernecking to actually see if they do get to the point where they step in the ring together. Because Jake Paul's an area-level fighter, a British area-level fighter, and Anthony Joshua is still a killer and a live heavyweight. That should not be sanctioned anywhere in the world, in my view.
It's dangerous, mate.
Very dangerous.
It brings the sport into disrepute. The people that are talking about organising that, they should have a real hard look at themselves.
But even Eddie Hearn's kind of teasing he doesn't like it, but you can see the glitz of dollars.
There's no price. There is no price.
There shouldn't be.
There's absolutely no price
on
the planet in order to make that fight because it is dangerous.
Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua isn't just a big risk. Many experts think it's dangerous for his health. Boxing insiders like Ariel Helwani say Joshua's power and experience could seriously hurt Paul, and they point to Joshua's past knockouts as a real warning.
7 fights, has been beaten 3 times. The 4 fighters that he beat didn't come to win. So he's not in his prime, is he? He's literally at the end of his career, pretty much finished. And this is why taking this fight with you is telling you all you need to know. It's a cash out. He might as well just cream as much money as he can at the end of his career, fighting an absolute joke shop in clown world. When I beat Anthony Joshua, he says, every doubt disappears. Come on. I mean, if this is a straight up AJ versus Jake Paul, then we all know what should happen. This is a 1-round job because AJ, even though he's past his best, even though he's seen better days, he throws a nice 1-2 down the middle. He's got a nice bit of distance, and fake Paul can't fight. He just can't. I don't care what anybody tells me. He can't fucking fight. He lost to Tommy Fury for crying out loud. He can't jump in with Anthony Joshua now and expect to get a result. So, nothing's going to no doubt's going to disappear. All that's going to happen is going to be the end of fake Paul.
Rising heavyweight Moses Adama told Jake Paul to care about his health more than the money, warning that one wrong punch could affect him for a long time. And former pro Amir Khan said straight up that Joshua could hurt Paul badly, even cause brain damage.
And I think Joshua sparked him out in like 2 rounds. Really? Yeah, why do you look surprised when I don't.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
Come on, bro, you're fighting like one of the best heavyweight fighters in the world against a YouTuber. Like, come on. Like, respect the sport of boxing. And if AJ has to go in there and show these influencers that, listen, you can't fuck about with boxing. You know what I mean? Someone's going to get hurt badly, and this could be one of the first fights where a fighter gets hurt badly, because if you look at the size difference and the power difference, I mean, bro, there could be brain damages going on there. I mean, AJ could hurt him badly, you know.
Well, when you look at Francis Ngannou, who's one of the most fearsome combat styles there is. I know it's MMA, but we saw what AJ did to Ngannou. So,
and that's why you don't look. You can't be surprised if AJ is going to do the same to what's it called again? What?
For Anthony Joshua, this fight isn't just about money. He feels a lot of pressure to win and protect his legacy.
Experts like Johnny Nelson believe Joshua is in a no-win situation.
If he has a hard time or lets the fight go on too long with Jake Paul, people might think he cares more about money than being a real top-level boxer.
I do believe it because AJ's involved, and I think AJ'd struggle to he's going to take enough flack over this, but again, it's money talk. So I think AJ will struggle because it's an all-win situation. If he goes in there, Jake Paul lasted the distance. What does he tell you about AJ? Apart from he's just earned an extra 50 million quid. If he goes there and struggles with Jake Paul, then what's he say about AJ? Your heydays are well and truly over. If he goes in there and knocks him out, then I'll say that's to be expected. So the glory, there's probably not much glory in it, apart from the haters of Jake Paul to say, right, I've got rid of this kid. I think it's very brave of Jake Paul. So now the problem child has got to believe this fight's actually happening. So now you've got our attention. So now you've got to back up the boast. It's not about, you're not playing tiddlywink. This is the only game you can't play. You can play football, golf, tennis. You can't play boxing.
Nelson shared a strong opinion about Jake Paul's boxing skills. He says Paul is smart for building his brand, but he doesn't believe Paul is a top-level fighter. Nelson thinks Paul is a good local-level boxer, but he gets paid like a world champion even though he didn't work his way up like normal fighters. He didn't grow up training in a gym, he became famous online first. Nelson says Paul has made a lot of money from boxing, but he still isn't sure Paul belongs with truly elite fighters.
Lost to Daniel Dubois. He's going to be 35 years of age. It's crazy what I'm about to ask you, but can Jake Paul really beat Anthony Joshua?
All right, listen, I give all credit. Everyone knows that. They get mad at me that I give too much credit to Paul. Why? He's done a hell of a job to put himself in this position. He sold himself. He sold his dream. He took his dream. He took his idea. And he put it out there, and he made it happen. Give him credit for that. And he made it happen. And he took risk along the way. Yeah, he picked his spots. He's in the driver's seat. He gets to pick his spots. He's the one bringing the money. He's the one promoting. Yeah, he's the name. He made himself that, coming from where he came from, with all his followers and the whole thing, and just the uniqueness of what he was doing. But he has learned along the way. He's not a top guy yet. No, I don't know that he ever will be. He didn't have that amateur background and the things that you usually need to be a top guy. But he has improved. He is a work in progress. He is a guy that you got to give him credit that he's respected the sport. He went out there, he's worked hard at it.
Former champ Carl Froch agrees and says fighting Jake Paul could hurt AJ's reputation, making it look like he's not headed for Hall of Fame greatness anymore. At the same time, AJ has said he cares a lot about his long-term health, saying that his legacy would be that.
The Bunsen burner's lit, like I've said. He's cashing out. And fair play to him, he's cashing out. But to what detriment to his legacy? A lot, really. Because if this is going to be his last fight, fighting this clown show, I mean, it's not ideal, is it? It's no ideal way to go out. But people will argue, well, he's just taking the money and running. So you can't really argue with that. So that's it for another episode of Froch on Fighting. I had to get my opinion out there because I know you've all been waiting for it. It's a shame, really. I'd like to see Anthony Joshua, actually, even though I don't believe he can do it. But when Eddie Hearn tells us that AJ is going to become a 3-time world champ, it'd be nice to see the rebuilding process and get back behind him. 1 or 2 easy fights and then go for a world title. And this could be one of the 2 easy fights. But I just think if you're going to jump in with fake Paul at this level, which is like I say, arguably a massive mismatch, it's no way to step towards or climb a ladder to get towards that world title. So this, for me, tells me that Anthony Joshua knows he's finished at any sort of elite level or world level. He won't be trying to go down the world title level anymore. This is just a cash out. So good luck to him. Fair play to him, but hopefully when he's finished this fight, he'll be honest with us and say, listen, I've milked it, I've creamed it, I've had an unbelievable touch at the end of my career. I mean, he's already had an outrageous touch, hasn't he, with the involvement of Saudi Arabia, and now he's just creaming it at the end. He's got fake Paul, which is massive. Great for AJ, fair play to him. Anybody would do the same at the end of the career he's had. You know, he's not an elite heavyweight, is he? He's never going to come back and become a world champion again, in my opinion.
Jake Paul is sure he can beat Anthony Joshua. He points to what he thinks are real weaknesses in Joshua's recent fights. On his podcast, Paul said Joshua has a weak chin, no skill, and is too stiff. He thinks Joshua's knockout loss to Daniel Dubois showed that Joshua isn't as strong as before, making this the right time to fight him. Paul says his unusual style, confidence, and momentum give him a real chance in a fight most people think is a huge risk.
Asked, why is Jake Paul doing this? Well, I think it's because he genuinely believes there is a chance he can win this. I think he's calculated everything about Anthony Joshua's circumstances and he's gone, yeah, I actually think I can do this. I can leapfrog so many years of having to build and go through the ranks and do all that stuff by beating a shot-worn Anthony Joshua. And what are the factors in Jake Paul believing this? Well, it would be firstly that AJ received a loss in his most recent fight. Anthony Joshua's not been in the ring since September 2024, so over a year by the time him and Jake Paul get in the ring together. It will have been around 15 months. It was the manner of Joshua's loss where he looked terrible. He looked like a fighter that was well past his best. His timing wasn't there. He even looked a little bit chinny, dare I say. I mean, I still think he's got a good chin. The shot he took from Dubois was absolutely massive and would have knocked down many heavyweights. And he showed decent powers of recovery to get up and struggle through for as long as he did before his over-aggression and miscalculation with the type of shots he was using got him knocked out by Dubois. But if you're deluded enough like Jake Paul, then perhaps you look at that and go, he landed a massive right hand on Joshua's chin. Why can't I do the same? I believe myself to be a very big puncher. And it's that old saying, isn't it? You know, you shoot for the stars, you might at least land on the moon. And I think that's kind of why Jake Paul's maybe got to where he is in life, because he does have too much self-confidence. He does believe in himself. Well, on this occasion, I believe 2 or 4.
Jake Paul says this fight is his chance to silence everyone who says he only fights smaller or past their prime opponents. He says that by taking on Anthony Joshua, a real heavyweight and former world champion, he's finally showing he can compete with the best. According to Paul, once he beats Joshua, all the doubts will be gone. No one can deny me.
They said, fight a real boxer. They said, fight someone your size. They said, fight a world champion. We looked at a long list of supposed fighters for me.
Teddy Atlas has an interested but careful view on the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight. He warns it might be too risky for Paul because of the big difference in skill and experience, but he doesn't completely rule it out. He notes Joshua's recent knockout loss and long break, which could make him weak. Even though Joshua is still the stronger and more skilled fighter, Atlas says he's curious to see which version of AJ will show up.
Having said all of that, this might be a step too far. Now, when I say it, I'm also, I try to be responsible. I've been in this game 50 years, so I know where not to step, where you could twist an ankle, or worse, you could break a leg or fall down. When I say that with the understanding, too, that Joshua's coming off being knocked out. Joshua hasn't fought for a year, right? But it's about a year. And there's some ghost in his attic. There are. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's gotten rid of some of them, but I know that in the position of a fighter coming where he's coming from, there are ghosts in your attic. I don't know if those ghosts are still taking up space. I don't know if maybe there could be no better exorcism for those ghosts than fighting a Jake Paul. That might be just the exorcism you need to clear out the attic. I don't know. That's the problem. We don't know. That's the mystery part of this. That's what makes it so, it makes it two things at once. Intriguing and in some ways infuriating.
Atlas thinks Jake Paul will never be a top-level boxer, though he respects Paul's hard work and business skills. He says Paul is still learning and admires that he trained seriously and didn't disrespect boxing. Paul has done well as a smart promoter, but Atlas is careful about saying he can compete with the best. He doesn't think Paul can just go and beat elite fighters.
Beat anyone.
That does it for this week's recaps and previews. I want to throw one more thing at you, and that's the news. It's been out there for about a month or so, and it's picking up more steam. Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. Now, Eddie Hearn came out this week most recently and said, I never thought I would say this, but right now the front runner for this fight is Jake Paul for Anthony Joshua's ring return. Joshua coming up almost on a year in September since his KO loss to Daniel Dubois. He's going to be 35 years of age. It's crazy what I'm about to ask you, but can Jake Paul really beat Anthony Joshua?
All right, listen, I give all credit. Everyone knows that they get mad at me. that I gave too much credit to Paul. Why? He's done a hell of a job to put himself in this position. He sold himself. He sold his dream. He took his dream. He took his idea. He put it out there, and he made it happen. Give him credit for that. And he made it happen. And he took risk along the way. Yeah, he picked his spots. He's in the driver's seat. He gets to pick his spots. He's the one bringing the money. He's the one promoting. Yeah, he's the name. He made himself that, coming from where he came from, with all his followers and the whole thing, and just the uniqueness of what he was doing. But he has learned along the way. He's not a top guy yet. No, I don't know that he ever will be. He didn't have that amateur background and the things that you usually need to be a top guy. But he has improved. He is a work in progress. He is a guy that you got to give him credit that he's respected the sport. He went out there, he's worked hard at.
Boxing commentator Aid Oladipo has said it straight. He thinks if Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua fight, Joshua would finish it quickly. In a recent interview, Oladipo said Paul's confidence doesn't match the danger of facing a former heavyweight champ. He even said AJ could knock out Paul in the first 30 seconds. While he respects Paul for daring to challenge a bigger fighter, Oladipo clearly believes Joshua's experience and power will control the fight. Jake Paul revealed a huge number, saying his fight with Anthony Joshua could be worth about $267 million. Reports say Paul and Joshua might each make $92 million. But Paul's post suggests the total, including streaming, pay-per-view and other deals, could be even higher. If true, this fight would be not only a big sports event but also one of the richest in boxing history.
Head-to-head AJ versus Jake Paul. Jab.
AJ.
Defense.
AJ.
Chin.
AJ.
Footwork.
AJ.
Boxing IQ.
AJ.
Personality.
Ooh. Jake Paul.
If Jake Paul loses badly to Anthony Joshua, it could hurt his popularity. Right now, Paul is one of the few fighters who can pull in big pay-per-view numbers because of his social media fame. But losing to a real heavyweight like AJ would give critics a lot to say. They'd claim he's not tough, not elite, and can't compete with top fighters. Even his celebrity appeal might fade. Casual fans could stop watching if they see Paul as just a YouTuber pretending to box. Promoter Eddie Hearn warned that a bad loss could end Paul's boxing career. In short, a Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight is more than just a show. It's a high-stakes gamble on many levels. Paul sees it as his chance to prove he belongs in real boxing. But many think he's taking a huge risk against a heavyweight like Joshua. Critics warn of serious health risks for Paul because of Joshua's experience, power, and size. For Joshua, the fight seems mostly about money. Promoters say he could earn his biggest payday yet, but a loss could hurt his reputation. While the fight will get massive attention and money, many in boxing see it as a risky clash driven more by cash than sport.
Merit.
I mean, I don't really take Jake Paul that serious. He can't really box. He can have a little fight, he can have a swing. He swings away, stands up straight, and he throws punches, but it's not professional boxing. Because when I watch him box, he's just so much wrong. It's just, everything's wrong. It's so bad. He's got leaky defence. He telegraphs his punches. Like, you put him in with someone his own size, it was a professional. It's a mismatch, and you'll see that if he ends up fighting somebody. Tommy Fury, bless him, he's a pro boxer, but he's inexperienced. He's got no amateur pedigree. He's a raw novice, or maybe just above the raw novice. I was saying earlier, where would I put him in terms of levels? He'd do well to win a British title. He's at that sort of level, and then from British title to world level, it's like different worlds. It's like totally different. It's like a different sport.
What do you think? Is Jake Paul taking a huge risk by fighting Anthony Joshua? Or is this his chance to finally show the critics they were wrong?